Well, hi, good afternoon, Wendy. As we come into this time of getting ready to celebrate Christmas, it's great to be with you and join in a conversation about living room conversations, bolder together. As a minister, I'm interested in what excited you about doing this and what exactly are you doing?
Well, first of all, it's a pleasure to be with you, Karen, and to just wish you and your community a very, very Merry Christmas and a healthy and happy and prosperous New Year. But to answer your question, what are we doing and the why? How did we get into this? As a spiritual leader, I have been very aware of the issues in our world and the social issues that not only am I concerned about, but members of my community are concerned about, and concerned very much from the place of their spiritual understanding and practice. What is the intersection between what they know as students of unity and of New Thought and metaphysics, and how does that intersect with some of the very real and disturbing situations in our country? And how do we as spiritually aware people help to make a positive difference around some of these very difficult issues?
Oh, excellent. And so what I'm hearing is that this is a coming together with the idea of bringing our unity teachings and our unity understanding without going to a place of ignoring what's going on, but actually really embracing this and then asking, how is it that we, like you said, how can we be a positive force for change? How can we be a positive energy and have a space to be able to talk about some of these difficult topics? Which, to that point, what are some of the topics that you've addressed so far?
We've addressed, and this was with a group of about 14 other New Thought churches in San Diego that agreed to do this work simultaneously, same topic, same Sunday, but in our independent communities. And so we actually, as a group of ministers, decided to jump right into some of the hotter topics. And so if I remember correctly, the first one was on race and implicit bias. The second one was on immigration issues. And the third one was on gun responsibility. And part of the reason that this group of San Diego New Thought ministers wanted to jump into these topics is because, number one, they're very much on people's minds. They're very much polarizing our country. And stepping back and not saying anything and not doing anything really isn't the answer. But then how do you engage with people who have different points of view in a respectful way so that you can connect and maybe learn something and maybe broaden your understanding and at least still be able to look at the other who may think very differently than you do, to look at the other and behold the Christ in them, quite honestly.
Right. So to that end, you came across Living Room Conversations, which provides a structure and a format that has made it simple for and easy for those of us who are very busy, which are all of us in ministry, to be able to have these kinds of conversations and accomplish what you are describing, a respectful space of varying opinions to come together. Now that you've done some of these, what has been your experience of it? And are you excited as you were about using Living Room Conversations as the format for it?
So yes, I'm as excited as I was when I began. It is a very simple and easy structure to follow. And what I think is important is that these are supported and facilitated conversations. They're very organic. And therefore, they are very, very safe for us as ministers to hold in our communities. More than any other group of people, I think we as New Thought leaders can create an environment that is safe, loving, inclusive, and respectful for anyone, regardless of their point of view, their background, their political persuasion. And so Living Room Conversations gives us a simple format and structure to invite people into a conversation around a particular topic. where everybody has a chance to share and be heard and speak from their own personal experience, and then to reflect upon has anything changed for them? Even if all that has changed is they no longer see the other person that's so different than they are as oppositional or the other. They have a broader sense of our oneness and our connectivity. So it's a very safe way for us as ministers to help these conversations to happen. And by virtue of the fact that we are doing it in solidarity with one another, that it's not just Wendy Craig-Purcell in the Unity Center in San Diego, but it's Wendy and Karen and Carla and Sharon and all of us at the same time allowing for these same conversations to be held. We can stand in solidarity with each other, and that is powerful.
Yes, absolutely. Sign me up. I'm certainly excited to join this with Unity of Pasadena. I'm very excited to share it in our region. My hope, as is yours, I know that our colleagues, those of you who are watching our conversation right now, will also be inclined to say, yes, I would like to be a part of this. Before we go to what the next step can be for those who are interested, I wanted to just touch back on something you said about the solidarity of what's happening with ministers, because I'm aware what's been happening in San Diego is that you folks are actually gathering periodically to be with one another. And I'm just very interested to hear you share about how that experience has been for you in terms of connecting with our colleagues that are currently participating.
It's been very, very rewarding, Karen, because, as ministers, we carry such a responsibility, I think, to nurture our flock and to hold the high watch and all that. And to be able to come together with others who are dealing with the same kinds of things that we're dealing with as ministers, and really be able to talk about some of our own struggles around, I want to do something. I know that my spiritual voice, our spiritual voice, needs to be interjected in some of this, but I'm a little afraid to do it all by myself. To be able to support one another, and in that way, is powerful. And then just the friendships that are starting to form is very rewarding. So I'm really glad that something was moving in me that said, let me bring together all of the ministers, New Thought, Unity, Centers for Spiritual Living, and say, let's come together and let's see what it would be like to become colleagues and friends. And then let's see out of that if we might not want to start doing something together where we can be stronger and bolder together than we ever could be individually. And it really is happening.
I believe that. That's excellent. Excellent.
Karen, I want to say just one more piece too.
Yeah.
One of the things that has been a very somewhat surprising but very rewarding experience is realizing just how much people need the opportunity to really be heard. That just that alone, really being able to say, this is what my feeling is, this is what my experience is, this is what I think about this issue, and to genuinely, deeply be heard is in itself a really important gift that I know the churches in San Diego have been giving to their congregations.
I am looking forward, as I said, to participating here in my ministry at Unity of Pasadena, as well as inviting our other region ministries to do the same for this very reason you shared. With that in mind, we have now two ways to be able to get going with this. So the first is on January 10th, which is a Thursday. So Thursday, January 10th at 2 p.m. Pacific time, we will host another Zoom meeting with Wendy and myself. For those of you who are interested in knowing more, and especially if you're interested in getting started in January, because January 13th is the second Sunday of the month, which is the Sunday each of these ministries have participated so far. So Boulder Together happens on the second Sunday of the month. January 13th would be coming up. And Wendy, I know that we've put some time, as well as the other ministers, into visioning around the topic that we'd like to launch on with January. So please tell us what we're going to be talking about on January 13th.
I am really excited about the first topic because it so fits with our teaching of planting the seeds, setting our intentions, and visioning. So the very first topic is the America we want to be. The America we want to be. And for our colleagues who might be listening to this recording, they can go directly onto the Living Room Conversations website, look for the topic, the America we want to be, and they can take a look at the actual kinds of questions and format for the conversation. I think that will answer a lot of questions and give a lot of comfort that this is a really fun, safe, and meaningful thing to do together.
Absolutely. Good. So for those of you who would like to be with us, January 10th, 2 p.m. Pacific time, we'll have another Zoom meeting, and we'll be prepared to get going on January 13th. The America we want to be, which I believe is in the Living Room Conversations under the category titled American Dream. So what a great way to be able to launch 2019. Wendy, thank you for the time today. Like I said, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to engaging in this with you and our other colleagues, and know that it is going to be a blessing for our individual ministries, but also for our region as a whole. And I really feel that this is one of the ways we are embracing the new core values we just adopted at conference and are wanting to see, made come alive in the coming years. So thank you, and many blessings to you.
You're very welcome, Karen. You're doing a great job in leading our region, and I really look forward to working on this with you and just strengthening our voices and our movement, our teaching.
Yes.
Namaste.
Namaste.